1, 2, 3. Cocks don't pop at all. Poppycock cocks do poppy by 4. And that's why all the folks on Poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on Poppycock back in the Poppycock Hills, they won't let me back on Poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. The earth don't spin at all on Poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. And beer don't stick to balls on Poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on Poppycock, one bald, the other likes cats. She wild as a rosy, quicker than a satellite, no Poppycock about that. Well, Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. Take a Trey. Sheep don't like to block on Poppycock, ain't no Poppycock pins. You might just find yourself on Poppycock, waking with a Poppycock kin. And Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. Why so freaking early? Poppycock, you and me.
Oh. Good morning and happy Wednesday. This is the Poppycock Report with me, Rose777, and my wonderful, amazing, fantastic, very intelligent, very wise, very knowledgeable host who is so good at calling out the poppycock and saying, fuck the fucking fuckers.
We have a special guest.
The great Baldini. No, you're him.
Oh, holy cow. Hey, Rose.
Welcome to the show, Baldini.
Hey.
We did it. We're both here all in one piece.
Man, it was questionable for a minute, wasn't it? It was touch and go there for a second. Woo! Welcome to our Poppy Peepers. Great to see everybody this morning from Kevlar, who is, he's wild these days. And we got, let's see, Young Love, Lungs going on, Captain Mojo, Jenny Mikowski, Jenny Sparks. Having a
Scooter.
Yeah, she's got a new channel up. Check out Jenny Sparks. Oh, hey, Cammie, how are you? Mark Yeager, Jay Armstrong, Matt Jones. Good to see everybody here this morning. Michelle Waldo, of course. Rob the Truth. He's stealing that stuff.
I can't believe that Cammie's awake. Cammie is not a morning person. She must have had to be awake for some other reason, and she just happened to see that we were on.
No, it's
Cammie,
just such a
I'm
great
so
show.
lucky.
She can't miss it. She just can't do without Poppycock. I know how it is.
Quite an honor. And we have Juan Torres.
Juan?
Hola, mi amigo de la verdad.
We have Juan Artu Torres here.
Yes. Oh, also, you did mention that Jenny Mikowski has her own show now, and that is completely amazing, and everyone
It's
needs
awesome.
to check it out. And then there's
Shaking
Miss
Hands with Strangers.
Mays.
Yes.
Sarah also has her own show as well. So I am so
And-
happy that people are. And wait, is Kevlar going to make his own show? Because you said that Kevlar has been crazy lately, and only an insane person would.
I don't know if he's going to do a show. I mean, he's got enough energy for it. No, he's in one of those wild manic swings where you get a lot of stuff done, and so he's been putting out a lot of content on social media and in his work.
That kind of content. I see what you're saying.
Lots of stuff, and this is how it happens when you get into some of those manic phases. You can get a bunch done, and some people go, "Oh, mental illness." I hope I'm not talking out of school here, Kev, but some people go, oh, "Look, I live with a person who's a neurotypical, and that's what it is. It's a neurotypical. It's different. I mean,
I think I'm a neurotypical. I don't know what it is, but it's something for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I would say just that, I'm certainly a neurotypical. I don't think you could meet me and be around me 5 minutes without realizing that I'm not your average bear. Woo! Hey,
just the dad jokes alone.
Yeah, exactly. And the jokes don't get any better, but they don't stop either. So we got that going, which is nice. So we got that. Hey, you know the difference between...
Oh, all right.
We got
just get it out of the way. Just do a dad joke. I can
right.
feel one coming.
All right. So the difference
with our lives.
Right. All right. So the difference between a rooster and Marilyn Monroe. Well, Rooster says cock-a-doodle-doo, and Marilyn Monroe said any cockle-doo. Anyway,
that's good, Baldini. I actually got that one this time. I want everyone to notice that we did put up an Essence of Earl link, and I don't know when we will bring on our first guest, but you can start lining up and join us backstage in the studio.
Change your name to Earl, and we'll get you going. There are a few Poppycock things, but I do want to, while we're talking about the community, do want to toss a couple of things out there, if I could.
Yeah, but first I just want to say that I think that if I had to diagnose myself today, I think that hypomanic is what I am all the time.
You're hypo.
It doesn't mean that you're like having a manic episode. It means that you're just always high energy. I was reading about it recently. But anyway, go ahead. Tell us more, because I think that you shouldn't diagnose yourself. And the idea of a diagnosis is poppycock. So that is why I'm pointing it out, that we're all brainwashed for even saying that we have a diagnosis.
Yeah, the diagnosis, I mean, to me, I would just say, again, tools of understanding, because diagnosis means that typically, I mean, my understanding is that there's something wrong. You're gonna follow that up by saying that is a disorder. Right, that we have some sort of disorder, and I don't necessarily think that these things are disorders. They're certainly out of the ordinary in some cases, or divergent. But my observation is, I know, right? Rose got a Baldini joke. It's amazing.
No, I was almost going to highlight that.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
Just for the record, it happened.
But I would say that pretty much, especially going through the data analysis of the Awakening Project, is that most of us in this community are neurodivergent in some way. And for example, and then nobody freak out here, but for example, there's an extraordinary high amount of recovered opioid addicts in our community.
That's me.
So it is an extraordinarily high. In fact, but here's a couple of things that make that really unusual. Is that again, you're already dealing with a very small number of people, population-wise, per capita, who would fit in that category in terms of opioid use. But then the number of people who successfully end opioid use and move on is tiny. And to have those people on this, in our community, and so many of them as a per capita, is remarkable. And it's another element that I'm kind of looking into. There are certain things going on, and this is part and parcel of the whole Awakening Project. What are these aspects? And it certainly is far more than one would consider statistically normal, right? To do that, but right. So even Billy Tano and people looking around, right? So again, I'm not pointing at anybody, because I could include myself in that, right? So now we have both hosts, and we have several people in our audience who are one of the tiniest slivers of the community around. And so, what does it mean?
Although, I'll tell you what I think it means. Although I was prescribed medications by doctors for what seemed like a legitimate reason 15 years ago, they kept prescribing it to me, and probably shouldn't have done that. I am completely responsible for my actions. Despite whatever they were prescribing, I was totally abusing it after a very short period of time because of the tolerance. And I'm thinking that the reason why this happens to a lot of us is because the world is not right. It doesn't feel right. Something is wrong. And people are just trying to escape the dissatisfaction with something. And they might not know it's a lot of things. I'm just pointing out one that comes to mind. Now go ahead, Baldini.
No, but that's part of it, right? I'm not dismissing that. I'm saying no, but that is part of it. But it's not. And so many people have looked at this, but because again, I used to do substance abuse counseling. There are so many elements to what we would call, addictive and addictive personality. But specifically with the opioid, there is an element to that which is fascinating. And one of the things that I noticed very that stood out, just really, I don't know, hit me right in the feels, right, is seeing the responses from so many people who, when you go through their questionnaires and stuff. And this is one that this person put it so clearly, and I just went, oh yeah, I think everybody who has had experience with opioids can identify with this. Is that specifically they were hitting heroin like the way, right, mainlining it. I'm going to say it's the only time in that moment, the first time they did it was the only time that they understood what love might feel like, and they had that sense of well-being. That just screamed to me, right? That the bigger issue is the sociological and problems that we have, this emotional need that we have, love, right? We need love, and there's so little of it in this world, and it's so poor that we are willing to take a poor substitute for us, even one that we know will cost us our lives. But I find that kind of the need that it solves, right? So as you say, it's kind of an escapism. In this sense, I almost say what I see from people, especially with long-term opioid addiction, is almost less escapism than more a sort of reassurance, right? It's like everything's going to be okay, and that's certainly one thing that happens when you're high on opioids. Is you feel like everything, that sense of well-being, everything's going to be okay, even though your life is a shambles, right? I mean, you're literally in a basket on fire, going to hell, and you're like, no, it's good, man.
Well, yeah, it lowers the adrenaline, maybe, because adrenaline can kind of hurt. Like it's like, my brain is on fire, like because you're in flight mode. You're in a reactionary state. So maybe it just is taking you out of that reactionary state. I absolutely resonate with that. I will put another tally mark on the wall. That is another reason that I benefited, or thought I was benefiting from that, or fell into that warmth feeling. Just the word that you're saying, warmth, is associated to me with comfort and
like
just the absence of pain.
Yeah, it's like a big hug. And again, I would say, like many things, right, is that it comes from nature. So Dad intended for us to have it. But again, we've certainly polluted it in terms of refining it to make it this crazy thing, just to overload, just like, sugar. There's nothing in nature that's nearly as sweet as what refined sugar is. So these things become poison to us because they're so refined. We take the natural stuff and concentrate it to a level it's not really as useful. But all these things, whether it's the poppy or the coca leaf, all these things have benefit to us. I think it's really funny, for example, that there are opioid receptors, there's an endocannabinoid system, and yet our government here in the U.S. says no medical use whatsoever for marijuana. Oh, I see. There's an endocannabinoid system. We have a system in our body meant specifically for cannabinoids.
Okay, here's a question, Baldini.
Yep.
What other than what plants trigger the opioid receptors, and are there other ways to trigger the opioid receptors other than those plants? For example, is cheese one of them? Because people talk about how that's like an opiate, but I'm not sure if it's actually triggering that system. I just like to understand more about that system and how one can trigger it.
There are a number of endorphins that get released from a variety of foods. And for example, chocolate, that's one of the things that's long been kind of a nudge, wink, joke thing, is that for many women, chocolate releases a chemical compound that typically is only released for them after an orgasm. So, they feel good with the chocolate. That doesn't typically happen.
That's very lucky. I don't get that from chocolate.
That doesn't happen with men, and not all women. But many of them it does. And so you can see why they would turn to that as a comfort food. And yet, the consumption of too much chocolate would mean that they're less likely to get that.
What about a grilled cheese for men and women? I think a grilled cheese is very, very warm and comforting. Like I would compare it to heroin, and not that I've done heroin that much. I couldn't get it. I'm like too much of a dork or something, but I never got that much heroin. But the first time that my ex-husband exposed me to heroin, I had an overdose. So there's that. And then I've never done that since.
Oh dear. Well.
Yeah, I'm just one of those.
I had a different path. So anyway, where were we? Didn't mean to make this a drug thing here, other than I will say that I have noticed that there was a inordinately, statistically, very interesting number of people who had kicked that habit in our community. And again, the number of people, who get addicted to it, higher these days because it's part of the allopathic medical community. But seriously, the number of people who successfully quit opioids is very tiny. And then the fact that so many of those should be in our side of things, to see things in a different way. Certainly there's an element to that. I could speculate, and I could pontificate for the rest of the remaining time. I won't, because I can't, I don't have any way to test these ideas. But in any case, I just noticed that the corollary is there.
Well, it's a good topic. I know that we didn't mean to get into it, but in closing on this idea, I just want to say that it wasn't that long ago, relatively speaking, excuse me, it wasn't that long ago that I was totally in the depths of all of that. And now that it's all over with the opioids and the benzodiazepines, I feel so fantastic. And I feel like I've accomplished so much more.
Absolutely.
And I really, I understand anyone out there who, like, they might be listening to this and thinking, I totally get it. I know this is the truth, but, it freaking hurts. Like, I just can't, you know what I mean? Like, I know that feeling. And, I just want to encourage everyone to just follow your heart and intuition, listen to your body, and know that it is possible. I thought that even doctors told me I would die if I tried to stop taking Xanax. So just don't beat yourself up, but also just try to stop, because I know you can do it. And then also, if of course, I don't know everyone's particular situation. So if I'm just being retarded and this doesn't apply to you, then, ignore me in this sense. But yeah, Baldini, with that being said, tell me about the Poppycock that you want to talk about. And I also want to remind everyone that we are doing Essence of Earl, and go ahead.
You bet. Well, I had a panic moment. I was moving some stuff around and thought for a moment that I had dropped the StreamYard tab. I was just also going to say congratulations again, because that combination of opioids and benzodiazepine is really difficult. Good for you. All right, so let's do this real quick. Just want to share a couple of things, and then I have some community stuff I want to share. I don't know if you want to do that now or at the end of the program. I want to make sure I don't forget it. But let's do this real quick. So a tweet, a tweet yesterday, government document been produced, which encourages teachers to report to parents that disagree with the official narrative on CV19 to social services there in the UK. So, congratulations to you guys. That's good stuff. But also there was this, most of you here are familiar with this guy.
Oh, yes.
OB. And so
it's a setup.
Yeah. Well, again, it is, certainly not unexpected. It's I don't know if you've seen my surprised face, but
no,
it appeared.
Not surprised.
So if you're been living under a rock or whatever, this guy is Owen Benjamin, Big Bear, for again, so Beartaria, all that sort of stuff. He was making this Beartaria thing, and so he decided to do this in Idaho. And so the guy who sold him the property, and I don't know if it's going to become Ursa Rio or whatever his new name is. And so the guy who sold it to him then suddenly flipped and said, "Oh, I'm so concerned. It's going to be the next Ruby Ridge." They just don't like him. So he got a few of his locals together, and now
such lies in this article. I highly question, I challenge the idea that any of his neighbors are scared of him. This is a blatant lie.
There's one
They're not
person.
Scared of him. He helps with milk. He gives people milk and eggs, and his children are in school with the Amish and stuff. He's part of that community. Nobody is afraid of him. It's a lie in that article.
Well, nobody that knows anything about him is afraid of him. But there certainly probably are a couple of people who don't like his his ideas, and so they certainly put a couple. They said nonsense in here that Adolf Hitler. They put they say again, anything that's just a few millimeters right of full communism becomes alt-right to them, and then they say he's anti-Semitic, being half Jewish. There's nothing they can really come up with in here that as a direct thing other than just smear and allegations and innuendo. But we got this one guy says, "This poses a clear and present danger." A Vietnam War veteran who lives near Benjamin told the Kootenai Valley Times, "This is a commercial enterprise offering training and weapons and tactics and not a use allowed in this zone." Again,
Baldini, this is a textbook. This is a textbook example of an article that's doing a fantastic job in swaying the opinion of someone who's neutral or doesn't really know. Like you said, like people in the community who might not know who he is, but then heard from someone who said something about someone being, alternative, right? Whatever that even means.
Exactly. So there is nothing really of substance in that article, although it's been repeated on from MSNBC, MSN, Daily Blaze, Beast, all it's going or making the rounds. And there's nothing of substance other than allegations, just people saying, I don't like it. It's scary. But, they come up with these wild things. So they're saying it's the next Ruby Ridge. And if you don't know what that is, just take a look, do a quick Google search, Randy Weaver, Ruby Ridge. You'll find out some, well, depending again on what your source is, but that is the typical government story. The nickel version. This guy decides, he doesn't want anything to do with he wants to get off the, out of the grid. So he makes a place up there in the woods. And he's got, he got guns and kind of buying and selling a few guns, not anything big, and nothing illegal. He was very aware and made very clear that he wouldn't do anything illegal in terms of automatic weapons or sawed-off shotguns or anything. And so, but somebody gets a hair up their butt and they'd take, he wouldn't set somebody up. They wanted to set up some person at a gun show and he wouldn't do it. And so they got pissed at him and decided to set him up instead. And so they repeatedly tried to get him to sell a shotgun that they gave to him that was like half an inch shorter than it was supposed to be or something, and try to get him to sell it so they could get him, and he wouldn't do it. And he, kept putting it off. So he was just not giving them what they wanted. And so FBI and ATF went in and surrounded his place and to provoke him, shot his dog. And then his wife was standing out on the front porch with a kid and a baby in the arms, and shot her, shot his son. Yeah, they did all that. So anyway, and then they said he was a bad guy. So sorry.
I have to address something here because I'm making myself laugh as I'm reading this comment. The neighbors could be legitimately afraid of the person, Owen. He is a big fellow, 6'8", right? I call Poppycock because I don't think it's scary to be tall, especially if you can be observed being a good dad with 3 kids and always have a smile on your face and taking care and loving animals and having, unless he was like all by himself and like stomping around town and being scary. The reason I started laughing is because I genuinely think that it's way more scary to be awkwardly short, just like you could climb through a window and, get by someone more easily without being seen. So I would say that a midget is scarier than a giant. What do you think, Baldini?
Well, certainly midgets are I think I would be put back. It was just that whole clown thing. I think I would associate midgets with clowns, and I'd start to get weird. Yeah.
Well, do you think clowns are scary or funny?
I think they're creepy. I don't think they're either scary or funny. They're just
inappropriate, unnecessary. Like, who
creepy.
thought of that in the first place?
Yeah, especially mime.
Yeah.
I mean, one day I was driving.
I'm okay with mimes.
Really?
How interesting. Clowns are retarded and mimes are okay with me.
I was driving through the city and I saw a mime on a street corner. I almost ran over him, and then I said, a mime is a terrible thing to waste. So I didn't do that, but.
Thank you for that, Baldini.
I'm really, really sorry. But here's the thing. I would know this is the same thing I had with Owen as I had at the Solar Return on the Friday event, was that these are the exact people, right, that I would want to have as neighbors. And these are the ones that they're saying are, dangerous and scary. The exact ones that I think are the exact people I would want to have as neighbors. So I guess that makes me scary. I don't know if you've
Someone
seen this.
should write a song called "Up Is Down, Down Is Up."
Well, we got "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby, Right Round." Oh, sorry.
This has been we got to do that.
This has been making the rounds. I read 15 articles last year. Woo. California teen pushes away a bear off the top of a backyard fence. I don't know if you.
What?
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but
interesting. Thank you, Baldini. I'm so happy I get to find out about this. Oh, you better not mess with that baby. Oh,
so the dogs,
she has to protect the baby.
Yeah. So Mama Bear protecting babies. Dogs are being stupid, and she runs and says, "Get out of here! Go!"
Oh, good job. But wow, that was a gamble.
A Mama Bear. Back. Yeah. She messed with a Mama Bear. Who does that?
Well, she was being a mama bear.
Right.
So it was a mama bear against a mama bear. That's pretty much the only thing that would make you rise to the occasion. Like the idea of people being able to lift a car to get someone out from under it.
Yeah.
Superhuman strength.
Exactly. The adrenaline rush. So crazy. All of a sudden, as the numbers for the coronavirus go down, the numbers for shootings go up.
They were never up, Baldini. It's a freaking hoax.
Well, okay. These are the reports. I'm just going with the reports.
Let's just state that for the record, though. Okay. We know, Baldini.
Wink, wink. We know. So yes, there's the reported numbers for the terrible pandemic go down because they can't keep jacking them up. They got nowhere to turn, so they're putting up the shootings because they got to have something. Keep that fear going. Got to have fear because harder to control if they're not afraid. Let's see. There was a couple other. Oh, you know what? Another weird thing I wanted to talk about this morning, and then I think we can jump into Earl. And this is not current necessarily current poppycock, but it is something I'm curious about because it kind of goes back to this idea of our community and what happens overall. Wife and I were discussing some things this morning having to do with the way, of course, allopathic medicine and that sort of stuff, and specifically we were talking about natal care, prenatal care, postnatal care, that sort of stuff, childbirth. And you probably heard me say it before. A few things that I've mentioned is one of the things that really bugged me as soon as I realized what was going on is that one of the first things that they do as soon as you're born and you come out the canal there is they not only clip the umbilical cord, right, which is unnatural. That's not the way it should be done, but they cut that. And then the very first thing they do is put silver nitrate in the eyes. And supposedly that's to prevent conjunctivitis, but the levels of conjunctivitis are so terribly low. And what the silver nitrate does
What is conjunctivitis?
Conjunctivitis. It's like a disease in the eye. It's like a inflammation in the eye.
And how common was it before?
Almost
they
none.
came up
Almost
with this?
none. 0.007%, I think. About the same as coronavirus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so, so they, but they put this stuff in there saying that it's to prevent conjunctivitis. And yet, again, those levels are so really low. Yeah, they're saying pink eye. It's a common name. Pink eye is a kind of a catch-all term for types of anyway. But the thing is, what it does do is it turns your eyes blue. And of course, they always say, "Oh, because the silver turns your eyes blue." And they always go, "Oh, that's all babies are born with blue eyes." But we dropped this in there. I think effectively it blinds them to their ability to see a broader bandwidth. And always, again, it's the children who see the supernatural things. I think it's intentionally done for that. There are a few other things that occur, and one of the things that we have noticed of late is becoming more and more common, even since the time that I had kids, was that their propensity to induce labor. Like, what's that about? They want to do that or schedule a C-section. They don't want to have it happen naturally. Yeah. And these days, they're even is scheduling induction of labor. Now, it's typical to be about 2 weeks prior to the due date. It's fascinating. And again,
they call it a designer birth, where you schedule your C-section and then you have a tummy tuck right there before you even get out of it, the hospital.
Yeah, it is definitely, and so I just, again, I continue to look at these things and I wonder why no one pushes back at all. I mean, everybody just accepts it and says, "Oh, well, they're our doctor. We just do whatever they tell us." It's remarkable. All right, we've got some people hanging out backstage.
But before we bring on Rob, and then Steve Federer just came on, so those are the first two people we're going to see. Oh no, Rob just left. See, why does it always happen when I acknowledge people? They have technical difficulties. All right, well, we hope you come back, Rob. But before we let Steve on, I just wanted to mention that I'm really happy about the video that Brian just did, talking about what's going on in the sky, and he's always good at identifying what little dead ends are, or misdirections, misinformation. Like when people are going in a certain direction, he'll have a different perspective, and it just makes you think. And I did notice that there were a lot of people, especially people like me. I totally think that a lot of the things that we see in the sky are man-made technology, but we don't want to let that distract us from what actually could be going on up there. And I can think of a couple of anomalies that Crow has shot, Crowette shot the vortex, and then like some of the magnetic halos, they look very spiritual and otherworldly to me, and then some of the day orbs, but not the exploding orb. That was clearly just man fucking with man and like just trying to put like physical chemicals that dropped all over houses. You know what I mean? So I think that it's wonderful to think about. Always use discernment, and it could be both. It could be man-made technology and something spiritual going on that we should be paying attention
I want to
to.
do
So
a
we
whole
all
show.
need to be looking at the sky.
I want to do a whole show about that. I thought it was a great topic, and I want to do a show probably with Brian and Ceiling Fan Man on that topic, maybe even more. So somebody asked about Florida Man. I'll give you a quick Florida Man this morning.
Okay, cool.
Here we go. So it's just a quick little GIF. You can see what he's got in his hand there is a baby alligator. And as he demonstrates the baby alligator there on the golf course, you can see over his left shoulder. Well, it leaves you in suspense, but I think you know what's coming next.
Oh my God.
What's coming next is Mama Gator.
Oh no! She's really lots of mamas today in today's show.
So there's your Florida Man for today.
Oh, but wait, why do I want to see more of that video? I didn't want it to stop.
Well, because you want him to get his comeuppance. That's why.
No, I just want to know what happened. Like maybe a look on his face as he realizes that it's happening. So wait, what did the article say? What ends up happening?
There was no article. It was just a GIF that was being passed around social media. So I just included that as Florida Man because he's clearly
cool.
in Florida. So we got that going, which is nice. Okay, let's get to our friends. I don't want to keep them waiting anymore.
All right. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Rob, are you there?
Hold on a second.
All right, we can holding. Happy Wednesday to everyone. Mig Pro is my friend, and we tried to get Wim Hof on the show, but we got rejected. But that's okay. That's okay. Are you back, Rob?
Yes, I'm on my break.
Oh, okay. What's up? It sounds like we need to be quiet. What's up?
Yes. Well, hold on a second.
Okay. All right, we're still holding. All right, Big Pro, it's okay that we got rejected by Wim Hof.
Okay, so you come on the show, and then you put us on hold.
I know. Okay, why don't we here? We're going to remove you for now. No offense.
He was just about to go, too. Okay.
Steve, how's it going?
Hey, Steve, how are you, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm at work.
Good morning.
Hi. Sorry.
What's up?
What's the haps, man? Oh, did he freeze?
Oh, boy. We're just
having
getting so lucky
technology
with the
issues.
essence of Earl today.
I know. We're cursed. That's a great picture of Steve, though.
And now Rob's gone, and I can't even bring him back.
And he's probably mad at us. He's like, I was trying.
It's karma for removing him, but I was just trying to be professional and
Hey, Steve is
never
back.
win.
All right.
Hey,
All right.
welcome back, Steve. What's
Speak
on your
up.
mind?
Not much. Just wanted to call and say hi, see how you guys are doing. So.
Oh,
Fabulous.
it's great to see you. Do you like all of the puppies and the kittens that I have been have you been enjoying seeing the furry creatures on my channel every single day?
Yeah, it's been really nice. It's a little disappointing sometimes because sometimes you post things like, ooh, kitties, but there aren't actually any kitties.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that. We're supposed to try and get people who love puppies and kittens on the channel, and we don't want to tell the algorithm what's really going on. You see what I'm saying?
I was catching up with that.
Hey, Steve, can you speak up a little bit? We're having difficulty hearing you.
Sorry. I'm at work, so if I have signal, you can't hear me. So I
Yeah.
stepped outside and I walked in.
All right. Well, Rob is here, so let's bring him on as well.
Hey,
How's
Rob.
it going, Rob?
Hello. Oh, I'm just.
Hi, Rob.
You guys don't know.
No, I
I've
don't
been
know.
waiting to talk to people because, listen, you have, okay, we're going to do this. 100% people, all right? You have half of them that are in this shit totally. You have 25% that are halfway there, and you have the other 25%, which is us, the truth people, who are totally awake.
You think it's that high?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because look, there's a wall. They know what we're doing. I'm telling you, I see it in all the shit. I look up all this stuff. I see the headline. There's some shooting event going to go on today here in Cincinnati. Like 2 shots are going to be, so I guess they can locate where the shots come from. What the fuck is that? They're doing that today. We got the Reds playing today. They're doing all this shit. They got everybody confused. So I think they're going to take the people that are 50% that are on the fence, because I know people like that. I have nobody that's 100%. I know people that are 50%, so I can only talk to them for a little bit. You guys don't know. I have so much shit in my head that needs to spew out because I can't talk about it because nobody believes me. You guys just don't know. It's crazy. I No shit in my head. I listen to all you guys. They're trying to get all the platforms against each other. We all need to stay together. All the truth community. It doesn't matter if you believe what and what. We all know the shit's not right. We're all trying to figure it out. And they're all still trying to put us against each other. Instead of us gathering together, we need to put that shit aside and say, look, everybody has their own opinion about everything, which you should, because we're trying to figure this out because it's a real live event. And I think they're trying to get that other 25% of those people who are halfway awake, because they call them the, what is it, the American, I don't know, they're the Patriots. They're supposed to be these patriot people. But when you talk to them, they're only halfway awake because they still believe in fucking NASA. They still believe there's shit out there. They still believe something's going to come out and kill you from wherever. There's shit everywhere, they say. I'm like, you can't wake these people up. Even the halfway awake people, I can't even talk to them. I have to find somebody that's totally awake that I can talk just like this to people like you guys. Because I have so much shit in my head that's in my head that has to spew out. I can't get it out I can't talk to people here because nobody's totally awake like I am, like you guys are all. It's driving me nuts. They finally lifted the mask mandate, the fucking shit. Now they're going to ramp this up to where they're going to try to get the vaccine here and crap like, everybody knows. That's what I mean. You guys know all this shit. But you try to talk to these people that are halfway awake, you can't do it. They won't. They're like, oh, yeah. But they don't look shit up. Nobody does. Nobody does their own research anymore. They want to believe everything that's out there. It's freaking just annoying. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, man. I really like what you just did. That whole rant.
It's horrible. I just want to say, and Trump, listen, people.
A lot of people feel how you feel.
Trump said it at the beginning. There was a casting spell all over the whole world. He said it. There was a spell that was casted all over the whole world. I'm sure they did it. Because all these people got this shit in their head, you can't get it out of them. They're all like fucking wake up, people. And if you're not, fucking leave me alone. I don't care. I don't care. Leave me alone. I just want to live my fucking life. Fucking bullshit. Oh, horrible.
Well, after the show, I want you to come back to the...
Thank you.
I want you to come back and watch...
It smells so good. You don't know how... it was like Christmas today. I had it circled on the calendar. I couldn't wait to wake up at midnight and see Santa come down the fucking thing and say, take your mask off, people, you're okay. And everybody wants to do it, do it. If you don't want to, I don't care. You can wear it. That's what it should have been from the fucking beginning, people. Fuck you all. That's what I want to say.
Oh, wait, hold on. Stephanie Martin said the name for this. I have a name for it. The name for this is a...
They're zombies because they believe in COVID and they're idiots. They're zombidiiots. Zombidiiots. They will. I just had a fucking bandana wrapped around my neck. That's all I cared about. It didn't have to be anywhere else except around my fucking neck. They didn't care. If it wasn't around my neck, I got in trouble for it. I was trying to run without a mask on. I feel like I'm in fucking kindergarten. What the fuck, people?
This is a network moment, by the way, Stephanie Martin. This is like, I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore moment. So he's having a network moment.
I have no one around me I can talk to. No one. Totally I can talk to.
But you're talking to us now. You're talking to 104 people.
And it's even later. I don't care. It's beautiful. Nobody wants to say that. Oh, it's a beautiful day, even if it's raining. And you look up at the sky and tell people, look at my channel, Rob the Truth. I put all kinds of content out there for people to look at. I don't care if you like it or not. It doesn't matter. It's what I think you should look around you. There's shit going on here now. Look, they're digging up all kinds of shit around here downtown. They do all kinds of shit behind your back. You don't pay attention because you're walking around with your mask on. Oh, it's okay. And this crypto shit is bullshit. Don't get into crypto. It's control. I've been watching it. I have a folder for my crypto. You know how they do the crypto? They're going to mine it through us, people. That's what they're planning. That's why Show Gates is here. You guys all know that. See, but I can't tell anybody else that because they don't believe me. You're a fucking conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. I'm just a truth person. I don't fucking care if it's what it is. I know we don't live in a ball. We're not spinning into space. We're not doing all this shit. I can look, use your senses, right? Senses. See seeing, hearing, smelling, feeling, testing, your gut instinct, what's that telling you up there? Hey, this ain't right. Nobody can do it anymore. So there is a spell. We all have to get together. We all have to stay together. That's all we can do.
Rob, I know that there are many people out there that resonate with you.
God.
But you don't want to get overworked. You don't want to, like Baldini and I have been talking about adrenaline.
If I can't get it out, you know what I'm saying? Now once I get it out, then I'll be fine. That's the thing. I have to get it out.
Yeah.
Once I get it out, then I'm like, oh.
Good.
Then I can talk to people.
All right. Well, you need to post a link to your YouTube channel in the chat so that people can see your content.
But see, and they've changed us as a society. They changed me as a person. I used to be an outgoing person, loved to be with everybody, loved to do all kinds of shit. But now they changed us with all this whole fucking year and a half. All they did was change everybody, get everybody against everybody. Not everybody to love everybody, not everybody to help everybody anymore. It's all everybody for themselves, only for me. Only for what the fucking people say that shouldn't even tell us what to do. All this shit, it's just horrible.
And this right here, guys, I love you, Rob. And this right here is why we need to get together more often.
That's what I mean.
Because you don't have to wait until you're about to have a fucking aneurysm, right? Because I can absolutely commiserate, right? You just look around and you go, what the fuck is wrong with people?
I want to do a breathing exercise. Can we all take 4 deep breaths now? All of us.
I go and be by myself. I'll get in the sun when I can. I absorb the sun. I can
healing tones
now.
coming.
I've taught myself how to sun gaze. I can look at the sun. People can't even. I'm like, I can look at it. Doesn't bother me. You're not going to go blind. You know what you're doing. You don't sit there and look at it for hours.
Well, I got my new replacement. Hang on a second. I got a replacement healing.
I'm up there. I feel like we are spiritual beings. We are here. We don't know where we're at. We're trying to figure it out. We got all these people telling us where they say we're at, but nobody really knows.
Nice. Okay. Sonic slider in 3, 2, 1.
1. Deep breath. You see, this is my COVID air.
In through the butthole, out through the mouth. In through the butthole, out through the mouth.
Well, this is why I can't meditate, because I always think of funny things, and you are doing it too.
You're great, Baldini.
I'm sorry.
All right, hey guys, I gotta run.
Much love, guys.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Oh.
All right, Rob. Well, thank you so much for joining the show, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts.
Just talk to people. I can't talk to no one because I can only do it halfway.
But I'm glad you did today, Rob. But we have to say goodbye because Edward Swim is here. So I love you, man, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Cheers, my friend. All right, Edward. Let's have a talk. It's so nice to meet you face to face. How are you, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
What's on your mind? How's your morning coming along? Where are you? Where's your location?
I gotta try to hold on a second. I'm getting a bad echo. It's good. I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Nice.
Hold on, I gotta turn this thing back up. I don't know how to.
Here, why don't you try to like? We're gonna. Can you hear us, or is there still an echo?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, hey, man, what's up?
Well, I'm still getting a bad echo, so it sucks. But
it's because you need headphones and the speakers are coming out. Do you want to grab headphones? I have Zach here. Can you get headphones and then come back?
Okay, hold on a second.
Did you take the last train to Clarksville?
Okay, I muted his mic temporarily just so we don't deal with that until he has his headphones. And we're bringing Zach on. Hey, Zach, how's it going, man?
Hey, guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great. How's your garden?
That's what I was calling about. I'm having a conundrum.
Oh my.
So I put some magnets down in the
Yeah.
soil, you
Yeah.
know, with the south facing ends going up. There's a magnet on each side here. I
I
don't know
was
if
going
you
to
guys
ask
can
which
see
I was
that.
going to ask which way you did it.
South facing up,
Okay.
just like our natural world.
Right.
And it's really weird because the ones that have the magnets aren't doing as well.
Really?
Yeah, but I am using magnetic water on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like to see if there was any difference in just the magnetic.
And
I can't not.
what sort of magnets are you using? Neodymium, rare earth, ferrets? What
These
kind of?
are ceramic.
Okay. I might suggest using something either rare earth or ferrous, just standard ferrous magnets, because that's more likely what you'd it would be closer to what you'd find in the earth rather than ceramic. Ceramic magnets are unnatural in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I would also, as a weird control, you did some without as a control, right?
Yeah,
Did you
and all the
try?
ones without are bigger.
Okay, and I would try also on one or two flipping it over. It seems counterintuitive, but it might yield interesting results as well.
I know, and that's my conundrum. The plants are telling me that they don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. They're like, just take it out.
I would
why
leave
even?
at least leave at least one or two, or probably 20% still. If you're gonna if it is an experiment and you want to run it to the end, I would hate to harm the plants. I don't want to harm any
Yeah,
living
that's the
thing, but
thing. When I experiment with life, it's like, when they say something, it's almost like you got to listen to them. They're no longer consenting to be a part of it anymore.
right, yeah, I wouldn't want
So
to hurt
it's,
anything.
yeah, I don't know. It's I think I'm gonna pull the magnets out of the soil. I didn't like the idea anyway. That could be the whole problem with it. My intent wasn't really into it all the way. I
Perhaps,
don't know.
and it
I
could.
know I didn't like the idea of having anything in my soil at all. Any kind of,
And it could also
foreign.
be somewhat contingent on the plant as well, and its background, right? So we'd want heirloom seeds and all that kind of stuff to really
Mm-hmm.
compare, because if it came from a GMO or a corporate type seed provider, I wouldn't expect that you would get them there, but it might have. I mean, you never know where stuff comes from. So in any case, all right. So Edward, are you back? Did you get rid of your echo, man? I think you're muted.
Yeah. I'm a long time listener, guys.
Hey, welcome. I can hear you way better now.
I've listened to Crow for years, probably since the conception of the channel. But I've kind of took the backstage approach. I'm not into this cult of personality thing, but I'm on the same path as everybody else. But and it's the same thing here. I live in Tennessee, and everybody I know gets the vaccine. They don't even think about things. And it's like everywhere else, you can't wake no one up, it seems.
Frustrating, isn't it?
It's really bad. And I too, I'm a recovering addict. I've been sober probably 8-10 years, but and it's been an experimental process. I still smoke weed though, and cigarettes. I'd rather quit the cigarettes than the weed.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
But it's kind of funny, and I think I'm also into the word a lot. A lot.
Yep.
I have a kind of a different understanding than a lot of people, because I've been in God's word like pretty much every day for 25 years, through the good and the bad, and so I get a perspective on things, that even like so. And I use the concordance, the other day you were talking about, what kind of translation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I predominantly think that King James is the best because of Dr. Strong's. And I don't know if you ever heard of E.W. Bullinger.
Mm-hmm.
And E. Raymond Cap. They're like real old archaeologists and stuff. And so, but anyway, it's so strange, like with you guys, I'd be as lone as could be if it wasn't for people like you, man. I think it has to do with the Holy Spirit that because you guys are over there and wherever you're at, and I'm telling you, sometimes you'll take the very thoughts out of my mind.
I see it. I see it over and over again, and I do think that Dad is involved. And I've been, again, I hope this doesn't make anybody who's not into it sort of uncomfortable or whatever. But I'm very mindful before each stream, and just say, Dad, bring the people you want and leave the people out, right? And I've been very pleased, very content to have a small channel that is the right people, and I'm so delighted at the quality of people that come. And
and you're noodling there, man. I know this is kind of weird, probably. I mean, like I say, I'm not in no cult of personality, but it touches me, and I feel like I pray to God. I don't know why, but I'm so
delighted to hear that. That touches me deeply, because that's part of the intention, right?
Yeah, that touches me to hear.
I've said before that the reason I do it, and what it is, if you're not familiar, the noodling before I begin on my channel is just extemporaneous. I just kind of close my eyes, and whatever comes out, comes out. It's an opportunity for me to really clear my mind before I begin, and to try to hear as clearly as I can from the Spirit to what to say, and get anything from me out and away from me. But it also is an opportunity for me just to share back with Dad my joy at being with him, and whatever kind of comes out, and it's kind of my prayer to him. And so whenever I hear others like you that say it helps them engage in that process as well, it's a delight to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I it's kind of strange because I shy away from people that pray. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I know, and I feel uncomfortable when someone says, "Oh, could you pray for me?" I'm like, and I love God with all my heart, but I feel uncomfortable. Now if it's more personal, it's a lot easier, but I'm not in front of a lot of people.
It is a very intimate relationship, and I think it ought to be. I mean, certainly mine is, and it's an intimate relationship in the same way that I have one with my wife. Do I talk about it sometimes? Yes. Do I tell you everything? No. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you all the intimate stuff. And so it is, to me, my relationship with Dad is very, very much like that. And then going back to your commentary about the which translation, right? That's been a big one for a lot of people. And as you probably know, my encouragement is always just listen to Dad very closely. From that aspect, I think as long as you have a variety of translations from which to choose, I would think, including King James. But to me, it's always most important to get to know his voice more clearly and better. And then it all kind of comes clear, because even comparing the original language in whether it's New King James, NIV, even the Geneva, which predates it, there's some questions about how to translate a language, a word, and there, especially different language and across time, right? Sociological boundaries, that sort of stuff. It just becomes difficult, right? Using idioms, that sort of thing. And so I think it's helpful, again, if you're really interested in what they were trying to say, look as many sources as you can. Right. And don't get hung up on the words. I guess that's my thing, is don't get hung up on the semantics of the word, because I would always say, go back to Dad and let him say what he had in mind. Anyway.
Yeah. So here's, I'll give you an instance. Say, the lion and the lamb thing, and so to me, it was always the wolf and the lamb, and, cause I've been in God's word, but either way, whether you use lion or lamb, the point is there's no carnivores. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The point's made. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that same thing could be with some of the language, but I started out 25 years ago. I went through a bunch of Green's Linear. I even had a Farrah Fenton copy. And it was interesting, and, but I also found that when you use the Strong's Concordance, you could pretty much make up your own mind.
You could do whatever you wanted with it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And people have. Absolutely.
But they've changed it. They've even changed the Strong's Concordance over the years.
And I've seen several translations that were put out, commissioned by and put out by a particular religious denomination. And they've changed some of the passages to come into alignment with their views on things. And it's clearly far away from what the original thing is. So to that extent, but people tend to do that, and I don't think, honestly, I don't think I've ever met anybody. And keep in mind that I was in the church community for a long time. I even served in ministry, but I don't think I've ever met anybody who hasn't read scripture of any kind, whether that be the Bible or the Torah or Quran or anything, that don't bring into it their own understandings and predispositions. I mean, you could do this with War and Peace. You could do this.
I agree.
What does it mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah, so people are going to bring in their own.
That's personal. See, that's why I think some of my each of us are on these different levels, and so what it means to us, I think it's kind of like on a personal note that maybe we shouldn't try to force others to see it the way we see it.
Bingo.
That possibly the Father's working through them, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And using their life.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is this is what my take, right? As I see in numerous places where Jesus said specifically, what is it to you, whatever the master tells his other servants to do? If you're a servant, then you do what the master tells you to do. It's none of your business, right? And so I have kept that in front of me for a long time. It's just not my place to judge, right? And I know that if I listen closely, Dad has asked me to behave in ways that might be, in fact, have been considered by people who get caught up on the words to be, oh, that's not what Scripture says, but that's very clearly what Dad was asking me to do, and the result was absolutely the right thing. I would have been very wrong if I had done the other thing, and so this is why, again, I always say it's all about your connection to the Creator, and then the words make far more sense in that. I always see that the biggest mistake that I see people make is they go to the words and they try to figure it out from an intellectual standpoint. And it's a relationship. You can't do it from an intellectual standpoint. It's not that you have to turn off your brain and not think and be stupid. That's not it at all. But relationships aren't done intellectually. They're done emotionally and through intimate relationship. And then it makes sense afterwards. And so now I can better describe some of the feelings I have toward my wife, for example. When I was in the midst of the throes of us getting together, could I have described that? No, I'd have just been slobbering, going, oh, I'm so in love. She's so awesome. Right now, I can better describe some of the intimacies of our relationship. I think the very similar thing is true with my relationship with Dad. Only in retrospect can I better express what's going on there. And again, for me, that's my relationship. It's not anything I can tell somebody else, you need to do it this way or that way. And because that's religion. And I don't have any patience for that.
Baldini, I need to wrap it up in only about 3 minutes, and there's just one thing I wanted to ask Zach really quick before I have to go in a few minutes. Do you mind if I switch over to that really quick?
Yep.
Zach, could you explain what it is that people should do during the eclipse that's coming up with a polarized filter? It's a solar eclipse, right? Next week. What should they do with polarized film?
I would take one. If the object in the sky that is blocking our view of that light, the sun, is some kind of Polaroid anomaly, you should be able to bring it back just by simply rotating a Polaroid film in front of it.
So that's like introducing a third filter a la Bell's theorem? Or am I thinking of a different thing? Oh, it's just the Faraday effect, adding a new...
adding a new filter. This would just be a second filter. If that object is a filter going over it, this would kind of be breaking that one.
Oh, this is the second filter. Because even though we're looking at the sun that we can see, which isn't normally obstructed through a polarized film, the thing that is passing it during a solar eclipse is the polarized thingamajig. And so by us rotating just one in front of it, that is like putting two Polaroid filters, and then you're bringing it back into view because what you're already seeing is the polarized thing that's out of view, which is what's making it dark. Is that correct?
Yes. Absolutely. Well done, Rose.
All right.
Yeah, so it's just an idea. Not many people I know in the U.S. are going to see it. I believe it's just the Northeast. And this is a weird one, folks. This one is actually crossing right across, like, geographic north of what they tell us it is.
Zach, did you end up in... Are you in Australia all of a sudden? Did you take the quick shot? You took the quick flight to Australia.
No. I'd love to go see Australia.
Oh, okay. It's just that you're upside down.
Oh, am I upside down? Oh,
Yeah.
geez, sorry.
That's all
There
right.
we go.
I thought you were in. Thought you were in Australia. It looks like Rose has had to jump out. I think that she did have to have a meeting. So, with
Hank,
that,
come here.
Yeah, I think I got her too, sir.
Yep, we'll wrap it up.
I gotta go do the work
all right,
thing.
guys. I'm gonna and even without outro music this morning, because I got to get out too. Thanks everybody for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure as always, and I agree. This has been one of my favorite episodes. Very little poppycock, but lots of relationship, and that is freaking awesome.
Yes, God bless you all. God bless you all. Really,
it's been great to have you
made
here,
my
Edward.
day. God bless you all.
Been great to have you here, Edward and Zach. It's always great to see you, my friend, and all my friends in chat. Great to see you guys as well. So definitely make sure and come back and see us soon. And again, I was going to say earlier this morning that this is the Poppycock show that we have been on extended hiatus, and yet we just can't live without you. So even though we're officially still on break, we're not, because we're back and we just miss you. So anyway, love you guys. Much love to Rose. I know she had to break out and do her thing, as well as I got to do the same thing. So take care, guys. Much love to everybody. And we hope to see you again soon. I'll be back this weekend, probably back tonight. I think there is a Secrets of Saturn stream. I think I'm scheduled for that. We'll find out. Anyway, you guys are the best, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.